Dear Professor Tiu, thank you for agreeing to give us this interview. I'm going to start with my first question. As a member of the task force developing the national strategy on cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases, what are the key objectives of this project and how do you envision it will contribute to the improvement of healthcare in Romania?
Thank you very much for inviting me. This strategic plan to fight against cardio and cerebrovascular disorders, I think, is one of the most important achievements in the health system in Romania in the recent years. It is indeed an ambitious plan, and it should take into account all the steps from, now I will speak only about cerebrovascular diseases. It should take into account all the steps regarding stroke, starting with primary prevention, then organizing the acute stroke services, the post-acute stroke rehabilitation, and then, of course, life after stroke. It will be a big difference for the patients, stroke survivors, and the patients who suffer a stroke. There have been some important achievements in the last years by increasing numbers of hospitals, so-called stroke ready, which are able to provide thrombolysis, but we still need more centers, and we still need more centers to provide mechanical thrombectomy. And then the other part of the survival chain for a stroke patient need indeed more attention. So I hope the next year will bring new things and achievements in the domain of neurorehabilitation and maybe in a greater number of comprehensive stroke units.
Can you discuss the importance of clinical guidelines on patient management, specifically in the context of post-stroke neurorehabilitation, and suggest ways to improve their implementation in Romania?
Well, all our life as doctors is governed by guidelines. So, in a way, it's our Bible, every guideline, so we have to keep the recommendations and to respect this recommendation. Some fields are more developed. We know how to look in European guidelines and sometimes in American guidelines, but in the field of neurorehabilitation, this is something quite new. We need more information. There is a great need for guidelines. I would say also maybe special curricula to be trained for neurorehabilitation, and some space dedicated to these patients, because I'm working in an emergency hospital, so we are always in lack of space, in lack of places for the new emergencies, and it would be great to have circuitry, so to send these patients early in neurorehabilitation in safe conditions and for their own good.
Stroke recovery almost always involves neurorehabilitation, in which pharmacological interventions can play a significant role. Can you discuss the importance of such therapeutic add-on in stroke recovery and share any recent advances or notable research in this area?
There has been a constant research in this field, because neurologists always looked for means and ways to increase the survival of neurons that has suffered after an ischemic stroke. We know less about hemorrhage. We are now focused more on ischemic stroke, and we have recent guidelines elaborated by the European Academy of Neurology, who recommend that we can use it as an add-on for these patients for neurorehabilitation after several days after a stroke, either cerebralizing with a complex of neurotrophic factors or citalopram in dose of 20 milligrams by day.
The EFNR WFNR Eastern Europe Regional Meeting, in conjunction with the Bistrita Clinical Neuroscience Conference, is a landmark event for the region. Can you share your perspective on how it fosters international collaboration and advances neuroscience research and practice in this region?
I think it was a very important event because people perceive sometimes or perceived in the last years Romania somehow like a white spot on the map of Europe. So it's very important to invite foreign guests, to let them know in our own home, to see that we have doctors that are interested in getting knowledge, supplementary knowledge, that we are friendly people, very welcoming. We have hospitals, we are well organized, and we are open to these international relationships.
All right. Thank you very much for the interview, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.